Give me another player.
So I'm gonna go with man, this player here, I'm jealous of, man, because even during his career, and this is another guy which actually is great that comes right after T.O. because they've kind of behaved kind of the same. Not the same, but they've both been kind of in the spotlight. But this guy kind of gets it taken easy.
Be careful.
This guy has Super Bowls. This guy has the numbers. He has been hurt. And the reason why I'm jealous of him is because he's my age and he's got to retire. And he's been kind of like Marshawn Lynch, been living off of endorsement checks. So all his his contract checks have been going in the bank. And that's Rob Gronkowski.
Rob Gronkowski. What you started with was, if you had to win a game, you're taking Rob over Tony Gonzalez. I don't believe that you're going to argue who has better statistics. One played an entire career and some. The other just played a nice career.
Yeah.
And when I say nice, I don't mean like he didn't break records or put up numbers. I'm just saying as far as the length, the number of games he was on the field, he had a very nice career.
Right.
It wasn't Tony Gonzalez. It wasn't Jason Witten. And I'm talking about the longevity. Grunt played in more playoff games, even though he missed out, on a whole Super Bowl run. He played in more playoff games than Jason Witten. So here's my thing. I do not disagree. Rob Gronkowski is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
To me,
he broke records in a very short amount of time.
Myself,
without the longevity.
And I bring up this player, and I knew for me, first ballot, again, no different than T.O. Minute one, he needs to be in there. To me, it's a situation which is wild because he's going to be he should, I would say, be in the Hall of Fame at 34 years old. I think he's 28 or 29 years old.
You talking about Rob?
Rob.
Okay.
So here's the thing. To me, Rob Gronkowski is the greatest tight end of all time. To me.
Mm-hmm.
To me. The dude is a specimen. Even with
Here's the thing. I think he's the best. He's not the greatest. And what I mean by that is...
What is the difference between those for you?
Because best is, are you the most athletic, you were the biggest, the strongest, the fastest. The greatest implies resume. The greatest, but this is why I say that, is because if I say that the greatest receiver I ever seen play, and I'm trying to keep it to topics that we've already discussed. Mm-hmm. If I say the greatest receiver I ever saw play was Terrell Owens, that's incorrect. He was the best because he could take the short route, 60 yards like a Jerry Rice. He could burn DBs, in his younger years. He burned some DBs even when he was with Dallas. You know what I'm saying? To go get the long ball like a Randy Moss. It wasn't in the same fashion. Randy Moss was leaving people, almost 10 yards behind. You know what I'm saying? But he was able to do all of the above. He had the athleticism. He had the height. He had the hands that you wanted, so on and so forth. Jerry Rice didn't have, I'm not saying that T.O. did, Jerry Rice didn't have Randy Moss speed.
But you know what he had? The best footwork of all time.
And that's what I'm saying. So Jerry Rice is the greatest that I've ever seen play this game. Mm-hmm. T.O. was the best that I've ever seen play this game. And like I say, to vary the two, one is what your ability plus your accolades. The other is just ability. I've seen better running backs.
So I think what you're getting. So for instance, to me, and not to get we're deviating, and a lot of it is this potion here. But to me, the greatest running back of all time is Barry Sanders. But what you might say is, if you don't agree, you might say, well, Barry Sanders might be the best because of his craft, but his resume wasn't long enough because of him retiring early.
There you go.
Yes, I could. If he had played a complete career with his skill set and the numbers that he was putting up, he had potential to be the greatest. Mm-hmm. But since he did it and he did it in a shorter amount of time, he's the best, but not the greatest. No, so you're going to give the greatest to who has the best resume. I can respect that.
And just what you said. Mm-hmm. Just before we get back on topic, on topic, Barry Sanders, because he did so much, just like Grunt, in a short span of time, I might give him the best, you know what I'm saying, but I can't necessarily give him
I respect that.
Or vice versa. Mm-hmm. There is a stipulation where you can say somebody is the greatest because they did so much in a short period of time and then just chose to walk away from the game. So there are exceptions. I mean, we're not just talking about football at this point. There are exceptions to somebody who did so much in such a little time,
Right.
walked away from the game, and now it's still debatable. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't be opposed to somebody. You know what I'm
Which
saying?
is somebody I'm gonna bring up to you in a second. But with that being said, let's wrap up Rob Gronkowski.
Thanks.
You let me know. So you may have said it, and I didn't hear you. Do you
First
think
ballot.
first ballot?
Yeah,
Okay,
first
so we
ballot.
agree. So we agree on that.
Mind you, I am not a Rob Gronkowski fan.
Mm-hmm.
He legally cheated the system. He
How so?
legally cheated because again, you put up all these stats in a
Mm-hmm.
very short amount of time. They were able to do it without you. And
Mm-hmm.
my perception is your value is always shown when you're gone, not when you're there. So, well, you need to be there first, obviously.
Right. Now I get what you're saying. And you're, well, obviously, once you've established yourself in your absence, does the machine flow as smoothly without you? If it flows just as smoothly or better without you, then maybe you're not as important to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if
But I don't think that takes away from Rob Gronkowski, the player. It just more it actually
Takes
goes
away
into
from
something
his
that
legacy.
we've talked about
Yeah.
the Patriots, where
Yeah.
it's more of
System.
the system.
I got you.
Well, we're not gonna get into that.
Fact.
So no, I agree with you on that. So with that being said, I'd
still
like
first
to,
ballot.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to just real quick, because that's why I said to kind of bringing him in. So Rob Gronkowski compared to T.O.
Take your
Rob
time.
Gronkowski has done the party boats. He's pulled girls' titties out. Excuse my French. No different than, let's say, a Zeke. He's had a lot of off the field stuff where we look at it. Oh Rob's just having fun. It's Rob having fun, right? Why don't we look at why does he get that courtesy of, hey, Rob's just having fun? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking at it the same way. You not once heard me say, well, that he's gonna have to wait a little bit because of the stuff that Rob did off the field. We look at his stuff as, oh, it's just Rob being Rob. But when T.O., like I said, one thing that I respect about T.O.
And this is all under the same umbrella of making the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
No, I
You got to look at everything.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the things that T.O. did were never egregious, bro. We never had a T.O. hit his wife or a girlfriend or fought somebody outside of a bar, DUI, any of that. We never had that with T.O. T.O.'s things were doing sit-ups, were distraction things, right? He distracted T. Yeah, he was good, but he distracted. So I could say those same things about Rob, can we? In the off season, so why do we attack T.O., including myself? I'm kind of asking myself the same question.
I got what you're saying.
We said that about T.O., but why not about
I'm
Rob?
gonna answer it, and we're gonna leave it at that.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna answer it, and we're
Go
gonna leave
ahead.
it at that before you give me your next player.
Uh-huh.
Race ain't got nothing to do with that.
Very well. So my next player would be, and this is my
These are our last two, by the way. He gonna get
Yeah.
one. I'm gonna get one. So
This is my unorthodox one. We've given you a couple, quarterback. We've given you a tight end. My last one is actually.
well, before you get that, then you said unorthodox and quarterback. I thought you was gonna give me Phillip Rivers originally. Phillip, just
That was
yes,
one of the ones. No.
yes or no. Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer?
I don't. That's for another show, man.
Okay, all right.
For me.
We'll save that then. We'll save that.
If I had to say yes or no, I would say yes.
Okay,
But.
all right. I got you. So
So
give me
the
your
unorthodox one here is going to be something not too popular. I don't think he'd be a first ballot. It is going to be kicker Adam Vinatieri.
Wait. How is he not first?
Because
ballot?
he's a kicker.
Wait, but he's a kicker that has done something no other kicker
I
has.
agree. So obviously, well, I won't say obviously, we're on the same page. To me, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Actually, the reason why they get, you could account, first of all, the
There's a lot of
Patriots' first
kickers.
Super Bowl was won with 0 seconds left off of his leg. They've won.
That's not including how they got there.
Not including how they got there with the tuck game, with the tuck rule game in snow, and all that. Yeah, they cleared a little snow, bro. It's cold out there. Did you not see Blair Walsh in against the Seattle Seahawks a couple years ago miss a extra point length field goal in the cold? So I mean, the guy's a dog.
Adam, if you're watching this,
He watching this.
You are the greatest Patriot in Patriots history.
I got that's arguably
I'm not gonna do that. Now understand.
That's arguably correct.
I mean,
because Tom Brady could do all he did,
I
but
got you. Wait.
he'd be at least too deep.
I laugh. I'm not gonna do that. I already know. Dust settles. Tom Brady and Tom Brady only. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about players, only players. And I'm just talking about the franchise because Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick gonna be right there with him. All I'm saying is, from the standpoint of the quarterback is the most important position in sports history, is team sports, I say. You know what I'm saying? And they have the most important role on the field, and they change the game more than any other. I'm just saying from that perspective, obviously, bro, it's gonna be Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
But what you were hinting at was always debatable. If we're being realistic,
as far as Vinatieri?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. No, I'm saying he's clear cut. I say we agree. He's clear cut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's clear cut for me.
No, the best Patriot in Patriots history.
I thought you were talking about Hall of Fame.
No.
Debatable? No, it is debatable.
So, and this is why I say I applaud
he has the most
point.
points in Patriots history. I'll tell you that.
Look it up.
Look it up.
This is why I applaud their point, because at the end of the day, is everybody wants to say, oh, you can't have Bill without Tom, and you can't have Tom without Bill. Well, throw Adam Vinatieri into that mix. I understand he hadn't been with the team in, 3-4 years now, you know what I'm saying, something like that.
Oh,
they won Super Bowls without him.
Way longer than 3-4 years.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot. He went to Indy.
He went to Indy.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I want to say he was still in the league. I think he's still with Indy.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Shout out Vanderjack. But that's neither here nor there.
Boy,
but respectfully though, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't start that legacy. You can't start that dynasty of the Patriots without his legs. He's another name to throw in that, that box type.
I'll say this, man, and just like you said, you said it as a joke, and you said, he is arguably the best Patriot of all time, or something along those lines, right? And as it is a joke, the thing is, there's certain positions in football that never, ever get the praise that they should. For instance, an offensive line and defensive. First of all, football. If you know football,
starts in
the trenches. If you're gonna build, if you're a GM and you're building a team, you need to be building from inside out, not receivers in. If you're building that way, you're building wrong. So with that being said, there's a certain skill sets that never get any praise. They get praise for a few seconds every once in a while when one person points it out. Offensive line, kickers, punters, right? Especially punters. Punters are very, very important. How many times did you need to punt the ball and pin them deep? You don't even need to pin them inside their 5, and then they shank the ball and only punt it 15 yards. That's big. That is big. But guess what? When they punt it 15 yards, we're ready to murder them. But when they punt it inside the 5, you clap. But at the end of the game, when you're talking with your boys or with whoever you talk the game with, you never say, man, that punter, man, he put him inside the 5, and that was big.
You're either going to praise the
defense, quarterback, the running back, the coach. You're going to praise everyone but them. The same goes for the kicker, right? So here comes the end of the game. Bro, it's crazy because the quarterback is we got 2 minutes left or 1:30, one timeout. On the 30, and you got to get them in field goal range for who? For the kicker. Well, guess what? You go out there, you kick the field goal. You miss it, everybody blames you for a week until next Sunday. You make it, you get carried off by your teammates. The media talks about you for about 30 minutes, but then it goes back to Tom Brady or whoever the quarterback for whatever team is, and they say, without this quarterback, they would have never gotten that kicker into field goal range. Well, you got to hit that kick. So if he misses
sometimes it's vice versa.
He's a GOAT in a bad way. And if he makes it, he's only a GOAT for 30 minutes. And then they go back. You're a GOAT either way. You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready. Imagine if you as a fan, how anxious you are watching your team, whoever your team is, lead up and hopefully to get into field goal range. How do you feel that kicker is sitting on the sideline saying, well, I might get this chance, I might not?
No,
I might get this chance, I might not.
You downplayed that. So this how we're gonna do. Before we get into this last player, he downplayed that situation because really, especially in today's NFL, what these kickers are telling themselves on the sideline is, I just got this new car. We just had another kid, if not twins. We just signed this new contract at the beginning of the season. If I miss this kick, how are we going to eat tomorrow,
bro? Even more pressure.
So let's be real. You know what I'm saying?
So
like I say. I said it jokingly. We both know who the greatest Patriot of all time is. But in all respects too, Adam Vinatieri,
he in there.
You are the first man to make the Hall of Fame without retiring.
Boy, I thought he was finna say first man on the moon, boy.
If he flew out today, he would be.
Either or. So before we do this last play.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Are you drunk yet?